Recently, I received a comment from a viewer asking about pricing. And here's what she said. I really struggle with pricing. I look around me, but I am always on the low side. I sold Christmas ornaments for €22 this year. I saw those, they were amazing. But most ask for more. But that doesn't feel good. How do you manage your feeling of embarrassment if you always think you ask too much? Well, I didn't answer that question in the last podcast, but I saved it because it's a good one and I wanted to come back to it. It's also something that I have definitely struggled with, and so of course I have thoughts on it. But first, I want to show you something. So this is a segment from a course that I shared with channel members last year, and this is the part where we were talking about pricing and why it matters. So why does pricing matter so much? Apart from making money, there are lots of things that the right price can do for your shop. Well, it can help set the tone for your shop and also help to set buyer expectations. By being consistent with your pricing, you can start to create a reputation around your items and your shop. It can help attract the right kind of customers, which will help decrease buyer regret once they've purchased from you, which will in turn reduce the likelihood of you getting negative feedback. On the flip side to that, having the wrong prices can actually attract the wrong kind of customers. That can usually happen if you're underpricing your items and you're attracting customers that don't value your product enough, which can increase the likelihood of getting negative feedback further on down the road. Or if your items are too high, it can put buyers off altogether. Sometimes you don't always hit the right price straight away, and there's a little bit of tinkering that has to go on. You just want to try and find that nice sort of balance between attracting the right customers and repelling the wrong ones. And lastly, your pricing is also going to determine your business model or how you do business. For example, if you plan on selling something small at a low cost, then in order to make a decent profit, you're going to have to sell a lot of them. Whereas if you sell a higher priced item, you're not going to need to make as many sales in order to make the same amount of money. It's all about knowing who your customer is and reaching them, and also making sure that your price matches the audience that you're going for. Now, obviously there's a lot more to pricing than just that. That was the introduction. But I shared that with you because I wanted to demonstrate that pricing does so much. It's not just the cost of the item. It gives our customers an idea of what to expect from our items, how we want them to be perceived, the kind of customers that we want to attract, all of the things. It's a bit of a workhorse and a bit of an art form all of its own. Pricing is one of those things that you can get really deep into it, and there's some psychology there, not least the psychology behind why we feel so iffy raising our prices or even charging our worth. And trust me, I have landed on both sides of the coin. People have told me that I underprice my items, and sometimes for the same item I've been told that I overprice them. It's fun. At the end of the day, you know your business, you know your items, you know the cost that it took to make them, you know how much you need to make from them. It's up to you whether you charge an hourly wage or if you make profit on each item. However you do pricing, it's up to you. There is an exercise that I did early on in my business which helped me build the confidence to start charging more, because deep down I did feel that my work was worth more, but I didn't feel confident enough to charge it. And if that's where you are, this might help you. I'm going to have to reach up onto the wall here because it's on the wall. These will be going up in my shop at some point when I have the time. These are what I'm currently working on. If you watch my last video, this will make more sense. These will be the simplified, lower priced item. This is just a hoop because you're just going to have to imagine this on there. I haven't got that far yet, but there's going to be a larger version of this in larger hoops with more detail. These will be the ones with the bells and whistles. These will be the showstoppers, and these will be priced accordingly. And then these are going to be the more affordable versions. This is what I did at the beginning to trick my brain into having an excuse to charge more. So perhaps give that a thought and see if doing something like that might help you. If you still want to sell the items at €25 this Christmas, perhaps think of one that's easier for you to make, and then have a more detailed, time-intensive version of it that you can increase the cost of. And the fact that there is a cheaper option there for your customers should take the pain away a little bit, I hope. Ultimately, your work and your time is worth something, and you should never feel guilty for putting up your prices if you need to. But as I say, I've been there before and it can feel very vulnerable. So if you have to practice and you have to put something bigger up or more time intensive alongside the smaller items as a bit of a buffer, give it a go. Not only might it help with the confidence issue, but your customers might actually genuinely love it. I hope that's helped, and I'll see you next week.